Hello and welcome back to the 82-0 show. I'm your host, Driss. Today, we have a very heated topic coming at you. So sit down, get comfortable, subscribe if you're new, and let's get it. Cue that intro music.
Hello and welcome back to the 82-0 show. I'm your host, Daniel, and today we have a special topic for you guys that we will be debating. We will be discussing who is better, prime Derrick Rose or prime Russell Westbrook. So, Driss and I have very different opinions on this, like we did for the Kobe versus LeBron. Driss, you're going with Derrick Rose?
Yeah.
And the confidence. Yeah. And I'm going for Russell Westbrook.
Look at you all hype. And I'm going for Russell Westbrook. Alright.
Yeah, truly some commentator thing.
Nah.
So, Driss, you want to state your opinion?
Oh, well, I just think it's that, don't get me wrong, undoubtedly, there's nothing you could do to convince me that Derrick Rose is higher on the all-time list than Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is 20 spots ahead of him. But in their prime, I'd like to think otherwise. Like 2017 MVP Russ or 2011 Derrick Rose, both of them have their triumphs and their failures. But, I think Derrick Rose has more triumphs than failures compared to Russell Westbrook. But at the end of the day, two all-time great players. Daniel, I want to see your arguments first. Try doing something without naming, he averaged a triple-double. Try doing...
The fact that you already know an extreme argument about it should prove my point enough.
That's not...
But...
Go ahead.
What I think is that I think that I and other people should give Derrick Rose some slack. Because it's kind of unfair, this argument, because you have to kind of counter in age. So, for example, when Russell Westbrook was in his prime, he was 28 or something, around that. Mm-hmm. And Derrick Rose was only like 21, 22. And yeah. I think that if they weren't playing him 40 plus minutes and he didn't get injured, I think Derrick Rose had more potential, and if none of the unfortunate injuries had happened, then, I think that this would be a very different discussion. Yeah. But simply because of age and because of how they play, I think the Russell Westbrook's better in his prime.
Did you just say age is your argument?
I didn't say age is my argument. That's why you need to factor it in. You need to cut Derrick Rose some slack because he was a lot younger, and you get better with age.
Some slack? You don't need to cut him some slack. Yeah, you give him respect. Youngest MVP in NBA history. Come on, man.
No, I'll cut him some slack on this argument because he had tons of potential. And if he didn't get injured, I think that he would be better than Russell Westbrook. But he did get injured, so unfortunately,
this is just who was better
he wasn't
in their
able
prime.
He wasn't able to live out his career. I know, but you have to factor in age on that.
All right.
For Derrick Rose. So I'm helping you with your argument.
That's not... Whatever. Because you're just saying if he hadn't got injured, Russell Westbrook would have been better, but whatever. So, Russell Westbrook, I'll give it to him. He definitely has the stats. He's definitely an all-around player. It's unbelievable. He made history. He's my pick to be the record holder for most triple doubles all time. Undoubtedly, he could score, he could pass, he could rebound. He's that guy. He's a complete basketball player. But when you think of it, he didn't lead his team to wins. He even though they didn't have KD. He couldn't lead his team to wins. They had a 43-39 record. They were barely above 500.
Who else was on the team that year?
Steven Adams, Victor Oladipo,
Steven Adams is definitely not going to perform at that high of a level.
Steven Adams he's one of the strongest players in the NBA, and he's a very reliable center.
You really think so?
Yes, I do.
I'm not going to argue with that. Steven Adams is a very good player. But I don't remember, especially that year. It could have been because Russell Westbrook had the spotlight. but I don't remember hearing anything good coming out of like Steve Young. Anything that
Oh,
impressive.
my fault. I made a mistake. They were 47 and 35. It's my bad. Which
Which is
is
not a horrible.
it's not horrible.
It's just, if you're averaging triple double, it can go even.
Yeah, and also the fact that he averaged a gross amount of turnovers doesn't help his case either. Because he got 10 assists, 11 assists per game, but averaged 5 turnovers with it.
Yes, that is true. But I think first of all, statistically, you agree that Russell Westbrook's better.
Stats.
Like, you can't argue with that.
Like, for the all-around
Like,
player, yeah.
He had 32 points per game. He had 11 assists, 11 rebounds, and not impressive steals.
Yeah, 30.
2 steals.
Yeah, I'm not gonna undermine.
He had insane stats,
Yeah.
and he, I think, very much carried his team to the wins that they had.
But he couldn't provide wins. Derrick Rose had a similar, maybe even worse. He probably had a worse team, but he led them to 62 wins, and they didn't get eliminated in the first round of the playoffs.
True, Russell Westbrook hasn't had a lot of playoff success.
No, it's not. Even that year, it was a gentleman's sweep, 4-1 to Houston. He lost.
But if you look at the page is loading. If you look at the statistics that Derrick Rose had that year, if you got this to load, he only had. I'm saying only compared to Russell Westbrook, it's still very impressive numbers. He only had 25 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds, and then 1 steal. Everything about his play, everything statistically about his play was worse than Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, I already said that Westbrook was unlike many other players in the league today, and you gotta respect that. Because except for field goal percentage, and we say Kobe shot it inefficiently. He shot 42% from the field, Daniel.
And what was Derrick Rose at?
48.
44.
No, my bad, 44.
Yeah. So it's a 2% higher.
No, give me a sec.
That's how math works,
Yeah, my fault. But
Yeah.
he was at 45% from the field, which
Yeah.
wasn't. I'm not saying that's good, but Westbrook shot.
Was slightly lower. That was actually worse year field goal percentage wise than his first 2 years in the league.
Yeah, but yeah, it was for Derrick Rose. Yeah, of course. But you also gotta respect this guy in his 3rd season. He came in. First off, his supporting cast, his 3 big men, didn't even play more than 60 games.
Yeah.
So with that squad, he carried them to 62 and 20.
In his rookie season, he started 80 out of the 81 games that they played.
In Derrick Rose's rookie season, yes.
Yeah.
I'm talking in his prime. The fact that you could tell me Russell Westbrook had the stats. He could pass, he could shoot, he could rebound. He got many turnovers, he got fouls. He got
He didn't get that many fouls. He had 2.3 fouls per game, which is really not.
It's
not
not
bad. It's
not
not
concerning, but he didn't shoot as efficiently. There are many things that you could point.
By a very small percentage.
But what do you mean? He didn't shoot 2%. Okay, fine. From 3, Russell Westbrook shots a little better.
Yeah.
You could give me a guy that'll pass the ball very well. He'll have a couple flaws in his game, like the efficiency and the turnovers. But he could rebound, he could steal, he could score, he could do all of that. But a guy who's young, let alone at a young age, who's gonna lead his team to a way better record, who's gonna lead his team to the Eastern Conference Finals, who had a better record than LeBron James when he joined the Miami Heat. He fell to them in the playoffs, but still, he would take down those teams. He would take them one by one. And without your starting center for the majority of the season, and without the majority of your better players for the majority of the season, he did that, and I think I'd rather have that guy on my team more than anybody else.
I was just gonna ask you, you'd rather have Derrick Rose on your team than Russell Westbrook?
Prime? Hands down. Hands down.
Really?
Yes. It says right there.
Slightly surprised.
Well, it just shows
Where do you think
which
the
team succeeded more with their player. It just showed.
Those were words. Which competition do you think was tougher? In 2011 or in 2018?
17.
With the Warriors and the Cleveland
so
Cavaliers.
But Westbrook didn't even face those guys in the playoffs. He just got...
I'm not saying playoffs, I'm saying in general. You were talking about win percentage.
You're talking about... Oh, okay. So, wait. So, the Warriors, the Cavs, so you're just gonna forget the super team in Miami? You're gonna forget Dirk, you're gonna forget Kobe, you're gonna forget Kobe before he got injured?
I'm asking you, which time do you think had the tougher competition?
I'm gonna give it to 2017 because that's when there was one super team. I'm gonna give it to 2017, but I'm gonna give it, but not by that much. That doesn't justify a 47 win record and a 62 win record. He had somewhat tougher competition, but Derrick Rose had to go up against the big three in Miami. You know.
Oh, you used this excuse last time.
What?
What about East and West?
What do you mean East and West?
East and West. Russell Westbrook was in a very hard West, and Derrick Rose was in the East that year.
So that justifies a 47 win record and a 62 win record?
I'm telling you. All of these things together move that even closer.
No, but in my last argument, I didn't say that justified for Kobe losing in some rounds. I said he had tougher competition and he did better against that competition. Westbrook had tougher competition. He got wrecked in the first round with not the best team, but not the best record either. Derrick Rose had a subpar supporting cast. He was 22 years old, averaging good stats. Actually amazing stats for a 22-year-old, yes, and had a better record than Miami. The big three in Miami with Dwayne Wade averaging 25 a game, LeBron James being LeBron James, the dinosaur Chris Bosh, their supporting cast. He did better than them with a subpar team and an injured team. He did better with that. I don't think there's nothing that's gonna change my mind who helped their team win more. You can't change my mind.
It's a good argument.
But you're going to say the triple-double again.
I want to.
So, I know he averaged a triple-double. His stats were amazing. But...
It's because everybody here knows. I'm the stats guy, okay? So I see these stats. 32, 11, 11. Like, these are all insane stats. These are all some of the best stats ever seen in the history of the game. And then I go on Derrick Rose's side and see 25, 8, and 5, which in no way are bad stats, but just not comparable.
That's a very good point, Daniel. That is a very good point. But I also see 6 turnovers for Westbrook, and I see only 3 for Derrick Rose.
One stat.
I also see a higher shooting percentage for Derrick.
By 2%.
But it's still a higher shooting. Oh, what? So when Westbrook would get 10 assists and D Rose gets 8, it's still by 2 assists, and it is by 2%. And Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook played in a league, you know, after when you were meant to shoot the 3, right? And Westbrook was not a good 3-point shooter. He was in a league where the 3-point line was vital in a player's arsenal. Derrick Rose, nonetheless, he played in a league with not that much 3-point shooting, you know?
No, you called Russell Westbrook a bad 3-point shooter. He had a 2% higher 3-point percentage than Derrick Rose.
I never said Derrick Rose was better. I already said that before, that Derrick Rose had.
You said Russell Westbrook was a bad 3-point shooter.
When did I say that? Could you go back to that moment? I said he was he shot bad from the field goal percentage.
No, I'm not even kidding. Like 5 things.
Are you sure?
Yeah, also stop breathing into the mic. So.
And another thing is, Westbrook, besides the playoffs, because he didn't do good in the playoffs. He actually was a monster in the playoffs, but he was kind of not leading his team to the wins they deserved. If you're gonna use his stats as the entire argument, I'm gonna take the guy who's gonna be the better. Just as you said, LeBron James helped his team more. He was a better leader. So Derrick Rose was. Don't tell me Derrick Rose was the leader on that team. He led his team to a 62-win record. Russell Westbrook was the leader on that team. He wasn't. He was very ball dominant. Very ball dominant. You know, you can say he got his 10 assists, but he also got 6 turnovers. And oh my goodness, when Russell Westbrook was on the floor, he had the ball 41.7% of the time he was on the court. So no wonder he was averaging good points.
Who else did you want to have it, Steven Adams? I know it's insane, but who else did you want to have it, Steven Adams?
Wait. So when you say Kobe, that doesn't apply to you either?
Wasn't Shaq on the team when
Kobe got assists. Kobe didn't have the ball as much when Shaq was on the team. When Kobe had nobody, he had Westbrook had.
Why are we still discussing about Kobe?
No,
that
because you mentioned the Kobe debate for one of your arguments.
Yeah, didn't he have 37% when he had Shaq on
No,
the
he
team?
did not. No, he didn't.
Fair point then.
I'm just saying.
Also,
and Derrick Rose,
I don't know how
so
fair this is.
Westbrook has the ball 10% more than Derrick Rose had the ball when he was on the court. So that has to do with the scoring. That has to do with the assists. The rebounding, not as much, but Derrick Rose proved to be a better defender because he had better defensive win shares. Russell Westbrook had 0.2 more offensive win shares, but he had the ball most of the time. And you say, oh, who's Westbrook gonna pass it to? D Rose barely ever had Joakim Noah. Joakim Noah wasn't there through the majority of the season. He didn't have Carlos Boozer. He didn't have Kurt Thomas, who was somewhat valuable. He only had Taj Gibson as his big man. So when you say stats, you gotta take a deeper dive into it. You say, oh, Westbrook, he averaged so many points, he averaged so many assists, oh, he could do all this. But he had the ball 41.7% of the time when he was on the court out of 5 players. That's almost he could have done what he did almost half of the time. He almost had it half of the time.
Once again, fair point. Can we discuss for a second Russell Westbrook's insane athleticism?
Okay. Let's go. Come on.
What was that?
What, Derrick Rose wasn't athletic? Those were the 2 most athletic people.
I never said never said putting words in my mouth there. Russell Westbrook is known to be a freak.
He is.
He's not that tall. He's able to drive to the net. He's able to get these insane dunks out. I mean, he's only 6'3", but it seems like he's playing like he's much taller,
Yeah.
much bigger.
Obviously.
He's also insanely quick.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Trying to I don't know what to Google to find stuff about his athleticism.
You could just see it. You could see his athleticism. I'm not gonna deny
I know, I just don't know.
Westbrook's athleticism.
That's exact. I was just gonna say I don't know how to put that into words. When you see Russell Westbrook play, you don't know how to put it into words. It's so insanely powerful. How it seems like he's constantly dominating, no matter who he's playing
Whoa.
against.
Take it down a notch, bud. Constantly dominating, no matter what team he plays against. Take it down a notch, bud. Because I also remember in 2018, Russell Westbrook was still averaging a triple-double. He got eliminated by a rookie, Donovan Mitchell. Take it easy, bud. And he got fouled out in one of the last games.
Are we not talking about 2018?
No, I'm just using that as an example. Because you said his athleticism. He was... What?
I was fully looking at his 2018 stats for this time, but we're just not going to talk about that. Another thing is that I find it insane how he's almost kept up the triple-double average 3 years in a row.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone call that a triple double.
Triple-double? Yeah, that's funny. What? It's funny.
Your face. Your face is saying everything but this is funny. So the ability, first of all, that's gone untalked.
Unheard of, you mean?
Fully. Everybody only talked about the first time he got the triple-double. After that, nobody talked about, oh yeah, you know how he got the second triple-double season after that, the third triple-double season after that.
So if you're gonna mention...
I'm not gonna comment
No,
on
I'm
that.
gonna comment on that. If you're gonna mention that, you might also want to mention his 30% from the... he shot better in 2018. In 2019, he shot 42% again. And he was always shooting 29% from the three-point line. So it took a significant drop in three-point shooting. He averaged less points. In 2019, he wasn't even the best player on his team. Paul George was.
Is that totally
Yes,
true?
one was a top 3 MVP
average.
candidate. One was shooting 29% from the three. I love it.
While averaging a triple-double.
Yeah, but triple-doubles go so far. Remember what happened with Damian Lillard? He hasn't been out the first round in the past...
They go first.
1, 2, 3 years. Yeah, hasn't been out past the first round in the past 3 years. So, does he really? It's not even in the...
If give me a second to talk,
Go ahead.
okay? Give me a second. If Derrick Rose didn't get injured, where do you think he would be at
the
by now?
all-time list.
2018.
All-time list.
2019.
He's never gotten injured.
No, sure. I didn't mean all-time list. I meant statistically wise, but sure, all-time.
Definitely, I see him getting a couple rings. 3 rings max, 2 minimum. 2 or 3 rings. See him getting another MVP because he was 22 years old by the time he got his first MVP, which was
Yeah,
insane.
I know. He was young. He was very young.
Easily being...
That's why I think it's so hard to compare these, because he was so young compared to Russell Westbrook. In his prime, he was older.
Yeah. Westbrook was older. Derrick Rose didn't use the ball as much. He led his team to a 62-win record. In the East with LeBron James, Miami Heat, those guys. There was also when Westbrook... Where was Westbrook in 2012? He made it to the finals that year, but didn't do as good in the finals. His playoff, the way he plays in the playoffs, he hasn't made it past the first round. And he didn't make it in 2017. Didn't make it in 2018. Didn't make it in 2019. All like 2019 and 2017, It was 4-1. Didn't even get a game.
Think he'll make it this year?
No. The small ball Rockets going up against Bol.
Even with
Going up against Bol Daniel. Sure about that, man.
yeah, no, it's true. Bull is a goat.
Yeah.
Future goat.
No.
That's actually gonna be fun to watch.
Goat.
Yeah. So, what did we say in our playoff prediction? Did we say him making it?
No. We said he's out because they're just too small ball. But that's not the point. In their primes, you could say who was the better all-around player. It's hands down Russell Westbrook. But I'm taking the 22-year-old kid. Hands down MVP. Beating LeBron James is super team in the Eastern Conference standings. Leading his subpar squad to a 62-win record. I'm sorry. Like, you could say Westbrook averaged a triple-double. But is that all you have? He was a better defender, Derrick Rose. The win shares prove it. You know, and Derrick Rose had the ball. Derrick Rose had the ball more on offense compared to where Derrick Rose had it less on offense. So you could, if they had the ball most of the time, you could say Derrick Rose was even better on offense. Because Russell Westbrook is just.
So you're gonna say that Russell Westbrook is a better all-around player.
Doesn't make you a better weapon.
But you want Derrick Rose on your team.
Just because you're the better all-around player does not make you the better weapon. Doesn't make you the best.
Well, if I need to take someone from my team, I'm usually gonna take the better all-around player. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. I saw a video. This guy made a really good. Tie to that. Let's say you are a gunman, and you're like all around. You have like an AK-47, you got pistols, you got snipers, you got everything. And somebody's gonna come knocking at your door trying to kill you. You're gonna be too busy trying to think what weapon you're gonna use compared to the guy who mastered the one weapon. By the time you're trying to figure out what you're gonna use. Right? So
that has to be the weirdest metaphor I have ever heard. No, the guy's knocking at you. Jeez. Look what you did to me. If there's the guy knocking at your door that's trying to kill you, you're gonna grab a gun and shoot.
Yeah, I know, but
like you're not gonna do.
You're taking it literally.
What do I feel like using today?
Now you're taking it literally.
That's the weirdest metaphor I've ever heard.
It was a bad metaphor.
A metaphor's supposed to make sense.
It was a bad metaphor. Okay.
Do you wanna try that with another metaphor?
No, I'm gonna use an example. Who would you rather have? Oh, I could have a regular example now. Who would you rather have in a playoff series? 2019 Damian Lillard or 2019 Russell Westbrook? One's the better all-around player, but one is the better player. That does not make you a better weapon. It's like, who's better, Kyle Lowry or Dame, or Kyle Lowry or Kyrie? It's like, who's better, LeBron James or Michael Jordan?
I'm not as familiar with you. I'm not as familiar as you with these terms. Well, you know what? Some people are gonna say that question. I'm not as familiar as you with these terms. You just said, just because you're a better all-around player doesn't mean you're a better player.
Yes, it does. Who's a better all-around player? I'm giving you an example. Who's a better all-around player, LeBron James or Michael Jordan? Who's the better all-around player? Stop lying.
Michael Jordan?
Yeah. No, you're...
I'm confusing you.
No.
Let's go for LeBron.
Yeah, it is. But does that mean he's the better basketball player? Not to me. Russell Westbrook individually was a better all-around player. You could say that. But did he lead his team to wins?
Okay, but better for his team. Okay, so I think that Russell Westbrook's a better player, and you agree.
I don't agree.
Was he better for his team?
I don't agree.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Because that shows how good of a player you are, how you could help your team win. It's not just based solely off of skill, right? So Derrick Rose helped his team.
So you're saying that Russell Westbrook's a more skilled player?
No, I'm saying you're not basing it solely off of skill, what he could do with the ball. They're both equally skilled players. They're both equally athletic in their primes. Derrick Rose was fast, one of the fastest players in the league, probably faster than Russell Westbrook. Westbrook was stronger. Derrick Rose jumped higher. You know, there are so many things you could say, but I'm taking the guy who's going to get you the wins, who's going to make it further in the playoffs, who's going to be closer to getting a championship. Not the guy who's going to put up amazing stats, who's going to put up a show every night, who's going to give you 40, who's going to give you like 10, 20, whatever. But you might get a loss at the end of the game. So what's that triple-double really worth if you don't even win most of the time? And it's not even like Derrick Rose had a crazy supporting cast. The next best player was Luol Deng. That was the only guy. That was the only other guy who was on the floor with him 90% of the time. Joakim Noah only played 49 games. You know? Carlos Boozer, he only played...
I think that this is the first time that you went on a rant.
What do you mean?
And it was actually a really good rant. That was...
No, but...
I don't know, Driss. I feel like there's so many arguments that I could say for Russell Westbrook that I just don't know. I haven't been watching. I don't watch the league that much.
So who won this argument?
Well, obviously you
There we
won.
go.
I don't know enough to win this.
What do you mean you don't have? What can you say? You looked up the stats.
Better
you
websites.
looked up the stats. I gave Russell Westbrook his.
And the stats show that Russell Westbrook is better in every way. That's what the stats are saying, except for turnover.
And shooting percentage. Don't even say it. It's still shooting percentage. And I'm sorry. I'm genuinely and fouls. I'm sorry. But Westbrook did not give you the
fouls.
win.
Yeah, but he didn't have bad fouls.
No, but he had more fouls than Derrick Rose. But I'm sorry, Derrick. Like, let's say you're gonna drop.
You know, some people say if you don't get like 2 to 3 fouls a game, you're not really playing good defense. You know, a lot of people say that.
Yeah, a lot of people say that.
Not playing hard defense.
But look.
So then why was he averaging, what, 1.5?
He just didn't foul. And so he's not playing good defense? Explain Derrick Rose's defensive win shares. He helped his team better on defense. Derrick Rose's defense contributed to more wins than Russell Westbrook's defense. But look, I love watching Russell Westbrook play. He's one of my favorite players to watch ever. Like, I'll turn on a Russell Westbrook game and I'd like to watch him almost more than any other player. Because he's so fun to watch. He's so, he's so explosive. He's everything. And Derrick Rose hasn't had the time, but Derrick Rose was a 22-year-old who led his team to a 62-win team. He made it further in the playoffs. And
how did he help his team so much with worse stats and everything?
I don't.
It's a genuine question.
With worse stats. I don't know. It just shows.
But like, how do you help your team when having worse stats, even like worse passing stats and everything?
The scoring wasn't by a significant margin. The rebounds was by a significant margin.
25 to 31.
That's not a significant margin, but I'll give you the scoring. But it just shows.
That's a 6-point margin.
It just shows. I don't know what do you mean? What do you want me to tell you? It just is what it is. Look. Do you want me to change the number from 62 and 20 to 52 and 30? Is that what you want? I'm sorry, Derrick Rose was the leader on that team, hands down. Like, Joakim Noah was injured. Russell Westbrook was the leader on that team, but couldn't contribute to as many wins. He just didn't get the win. He didn't get the job done. He had the ball 41% of the time.
By averaging triple.
Oh yeah, but he had the ball 47% of the time.
It just doesn't make sense to wrap it just doesn't make sense.
Oh yeah, so maybe he didn't give it to his teammates as much, having the ball 42% of the time, and Derrick Rose maybe shared it with his teammates a little more. Let them do their thing. Derrick Rose did have a better supporting cast.
When have you liked players like that? Since when have you liked players like that?
You know what?
That's a fair point. That's a fair.
Since when have you like?
Anyway, I think I should end it. I want to have the last sentence there, so let's move on to the next topic.
Alright.
Okay. Best team of all time.
That's who you got.
So, Driss, you are going for
The 1996 Chicago Bulls. Hands down.
a very, very good pick, by the way. I will be going for the 2017 Warriors.
I'm just gonna pretend like you didn't read it off a
Sure.
list.
The list is right. I trust in the list.
Alright.
Do you think that the Michael Jordan and his gang
And his gang.
could
What is this? A sitcom?
beat-
And his gang.
yeah, could,
Hmm.
yeah, basically could be Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, and their coach Steve Kerr
And their coach.
instead of Michael Jordan, Derrick Rose,
Derrick
Scottie
Rose.
Pippen, and their point
What do you
guard
mean Derrick
Steve
Rose?
Kerr. Not Derrick Rose. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. I've been saying his name.
Keep going.
Can we just have Steve Kerr's on both of these teams? Which, I mean, not us, Steve Kerr.
Alright. Oh, and the coach Phil Jackson? Don't forget that.
Yep, that's true. But they had Steve Kerr, a member of one of the greatest teams.
Okay.
You know.
Whatever. Can I just say this? Bulls,
Yep, go ahead.
hands down, easily taking down the Warriors. In both eras.
You
Both
think so?
eras.
You think
Both
so?
eras.
You
Yes,
think so?
both eras. In
Were
the
they able to guard
2000s
the three
and
as
in the
much?
1990s.
Okay, so Dennis Rodman will guard Draymond Green. That'll be easy. I'll give that to
Oh
Dennis
no,
Rodman.
because the Bulls, it's also because of their
Second
defense.
most underrated player.
Ron Harper can guard.
You think that they'd be able? You think they'd be able to guard the three, as well?
Klay Thompson is only going to be moving
I
on
mean,
the
enough.
wing. You could put Harper on Klay Thompson and he could guard him on the wing. Steph Curry, who's the primary ball handler, I'm putting Jordan on him.
You think Ron Harper? You think Ron Harper could
Could what?
guard the Klay
The
Thompson?
Klay Thompson? Klay
guard
Thompson's
the
mostly a catch and
could
shoot
guard.
player.
Yeah,
If he
Klay
plays him
Thompson.
well on the wing, he could slow him down. Klay Thompson can erupt, but consistently, Klay Thompson's
They
not going to
weren't
give you
used to
25 a
playing
game.
Players like that. They weren't used to players.
And the most ball-dominant players like Steph Curry and KD, I'm putting Mike on Curry, and Harp was a good defender. Harp was a very good defender. He would slow down Prime Jordan. You saw it in The Last Dance. So don't underestimate Harp. Harp could guard him. Jordan, I'm putting him on Curry.
I don't know. If
I'm putting Jordan on Kobe.
Yeah, that I think
on
would
Curry.
work.
Jordan, easily
Yeah,
one of the
Kobe.
best defenders ever. Pippen, he's lanky. He's not as lanky as Durant, but another one of the best defenders ever. I'm putting him on KD.
I think to block KD, which a lot of people say is one of the best offensive players.
One of, yes, not the.
I think that you would have to get Scottie.
Keep going.
I think that you would have to get, because KD he doesn't usually play in the paint. Does he?
KD? No, not that
Like,
much. He'll drive, but he
Dennis
won't post
Rodman
up
or
in the
something would
paint.
be used to.
But look,
So Dennis Rodman would be in the paint, and I think without Dennis Rodman being there to double KD, I think that Scottie Pippen won't be able to, even though he's my second favorite player of all time. I don't think he'd be
he's
able
gonna
to
be
guard
able to
KD.
guard him. I'm not gonna say he's gonna completely lock up KD. He's gonna do a better job on him than most would. Kevin Durant's gonna get points, but on the Bulls' offensive end,
Of course, they're elite NBA players.
yeah, but of course on the offensive end, Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan. He's gonna do his Jordan thing. You could say they're gonna double team him. You could give them the zone defense. That'll be tougher. But this is also an era when there's no hand checking. There's an era where you get foul calls,
Yeah.
and that favors Jordan's scoring ability. Jordan had one of the quickest first steps in the game. He's easily like top 2 most skilled player of all time. He could maneuver his way around a Warriors defense. Warriors didn't have, like, they had Draymond Green, but Draymond Green, you could put him on Jordan. But who are you gonna put on Pippen? You could put KD. Those are elite defenders. Curry, he's not gonna pose as much of a defensive threat. Jordan's gonna be attacking the rim. He'll get easy foul calls, you know, and with the no hand checking, none of that, it's easier for Jordan to move. You saw Jordan move in the 90s. Like, this guy moved like no other. In this era, nobody bumping you around, nobody pushing you around. Come on, man. I know you're not telling me Jordan's not gonna get his way. In this era, Jordan's getting his way. Jordan's dropping 40 a game in a series, hands down. What are you gonna say?
Wait, you just
yes, I said
40 a game?
Jordan has done 40 a game in a series before. Don't act like he hasn't.
How do you think that they're going to be able to block the
What three? Jordan's going to be harassing Curry.
How do you think that they're going to be
Jordan's going to be harassing Curry.
To block the 3-point?
Daniel.
Yeah, but they're not used to guarding the 3 as much.
They still can.
So it's going to be new to them. It's going to be
It's as
foreign.
if Jordan can't... you think if Jordan had that bat... First off, you got Phil Jackson as your coach. Phil Jackson's going to arrange some type of wizardry. That I don't know what I just said. But he's going to arrange something. Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and Michael Jordan, 3 of the greatest defenders of all time. Plus, Rodman's getting every almost every rebound. Draymond could get boards, but I'm sorry. Dennis is getting boards.
Yeah, Draymond is often called a wall.
Yeah, he is. But
yeah,
if you say they're gonna guard the 3-point, I see Clay getting buckets, but Ron Harper, another great defender. Jordan, I'm putting him on Curry. Jordan.
I think that if Ron Harper's not able to guard Klay Thompson, I think that's gonna throw off the whole thing. And then
Ron Harper would be able. Ron Harper is definitely going to be able to guard Clay.
I really don't think Ron Harper.
It's as if Klay Thompson's just a catch and shoot guy. Play him on the wing, contest his shots. That's a 50-50 shot. He makes it, live with it. He misses it, man. Rodman's gonna get the rebound. Klay Thompson's not like Curry where you can't guard him. Klay Thompson, you can guard him, just play him on the wing. Nobody's doing. You got Phil Jackson as your coach. He's gonna know his stuff. You got Tex Winter as one of your assistant coaches. He's gonna know his stuff. You got 2 of the biggest basketball minds. You have Jordan's killer mentality. He's not gonna take anybody for a prisoner. He's gonna go at Curry. Curry's very good at maneuvering his stuff, but Jordan's going at Curry, hands down. Jordan's gonna.
If they met in the finals, how many games do you think? How would it end?
The most I'm giving the Warriors is 6. It's.
So you think they're getting 2 games?
That's the most I'm gonna give them.
You compare the Warriors. You think that the Warriors are just as good as the Jazz? Carmelo.
Shit, I didn't think of it that way. I'll give them. That's a good one. But that was 1997 and 1998. But I'll give them. You know what? I could give them 7 wins. But just looking at their starting lineup, I don't see. And in that era, bro, I'm sorry. And now in Jordan's era, Warriors are gonna have more fun on defense. But on offense, they're not gonna, especially KD with Pippen on him. Yeah.
I don't know. You think Pippen, because he's not as lanky as
Pippen's
KD.
bigger.
KD is
Pippen's stronger. And with Dennis Rodman in that era, I might just put Dennis Rodman on KD. Dennis Rodman will piss KD off. Dennis Rodman, trust me, he'll piss KD off.
Yeah, I think that'd be
so.
Cool. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you have any topics that you want us to discuss about, let us know in the description. Please check our socials in the description and follow us. Watch our episodes on Spotify and iHeartRadio. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.